Hello, and today we are going to be talking about the unit circle. I know, I know. Highlight of your day, right? I'm sure you're all just dying to learn about some circle. Let's face it, most students, when faced with the unit circle, are either reminded of the circular shape of a pizza or the shape of a clock on the wall signaling the end of class. But putting that all aside, what even is the origin of the unit circle? By that I mean, where did it all begin? What's the big hype about some circle anyway? Who just decided, hey, let's combine a circle with some angles and put some radians on top of it? I know what you're thinking. It all seems rather pointless. But if we go back further into history, it actually starts to make some sense. So, there's no specific creator of the unit circle, but it was rather the idea of contributions made by multiple astronomers and mathematicians. It all dates back to the second millennium BC, to the Egyptians and the Babylonians. The Babylonians used angular distances and measures to keep records on the location of the rising and setting of stars. Now, the Egyptians used one of the earliest forms of trigonometry to build the pyramids. This all leads up to 140 BC, when Greek mathematician Hipparchus, also known as the father of trigonometry, created these tables of chords. So, these table of chords consisted of corresponding values of arcs and chords for a series of angles from 0 to 180 degrees. He created his tables by looking at every right angle as though it were part of a circle of a large fixed radius. Sadly, his tables were lost, but it's still conjectured that with his tables, he was able to solve any right angle in an astronomical problem he faced, the same way we would in a trigonometry problem today. So even though we might not know where our modern day 360-degree unit circle came from, but we know it was strongly influenced by Hipparchus and his table of chords. Now, for all those students out there who like to daydream during math class instead of actually pay attention, hashtag feel no shame, I'm going to enlighten you all on today's uses of the unit circle. So, if we're all being honest here, the reason why we use the unit circle today is because it makes other parts of math a lot easier to understand. And it also helps us understand the sines and cosines of angles found in right triangles. It also demonstrates the concept that the values of sines and cosines will not be greater than 1 and less than -1. I'm sure that all of you have or either will memorize the unit circle for a high school math class. If not, I don't know what high school you went to. But that's not my point. My point is that there's actually reasoning behind memorizing the unit circle, because it is currently being used in many professions. It's being used in geography, architecture, astronomy, engineering, and digital imaging. It's also being used to estimate the heights and distances of buildings, and it's even, surprisingly, being used in the study of light, sound, and electricity waves. For example, The unit circle could be used to find the height of a building, and it could be used to predict the movements of a certain type of wave. Cool, right? The unit circle is one example of how something that seems pointless to us now might actually become a valuable tool to us when we're older. So maybe next time in math class when you're thinking about dozing off, pay attention instead, because you don't know when you're going to run into that topic again.